So let's start with tell me what you guys' names are and what your team name is.
Okay. My name is Kate Points.
And I'm Micah Points.
We're both members of A-Towners this year. I started A-Towners with some people that I met actually through training for the 3-day 7 years ago, I guess. And we've had people walk in different cities every year since then.
So how many people are on your team?
It varies depending on the year, and the members change depending on who's walking. There's a few people that have walked regularly every year, every other year, and there's a few people that have done one or two here and there. We've probably had about, I would say, 30 members total over the course of the existence.
So tell me how you got started. You said you've done 7 of these. So how 7 years ago, what made you say, I'm going to go do this walk? And
Well,
what's kept you going?
My mom actually walked the inaugural Boston 3-day in 2000, I think, or 2001. And so I knew about it because my mom had done it. My mom's was a breast cancer patient. She's passed away now. And so I knew about it because she had done it. And then I was in college in Michigan at the time, and I heard an ad on the radio that the 3-day was coming to Michigan. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And I found one of my other friends whose mom had also passed away from breast cancer, and said, there's this really cool thing, and we should go volunteer. And she was like, no, let's walk it. And being young and not knowing what I was getting into, I was like, yeah, let's do it. And we didn't train or anything, and it was miserable. But, and you know, looking back and reflecting on it afterwards, it's like, actually, that was the coolest thing I've ever done. So I keep doing it.
So Micah, this is your first year.
Yes.
And I'm going to ask you some questions because you're the only guy I've gotten to talk to in these interviews. So
Okay.
tell me how you got pulled into it.
I didn't really get pulled into it. She's obviously been doing it the whole time we've been together. So I've bounced around the idea of doing it. My grandmother had breast cancer. She had a mastectomy. And my aunt also had one. And I personally had a cyst removed from my chest when I was 19. So, but I'd never even heard of it. I've heard of Susan G. Komen through the Race for the Cure in Austin, but I'd never heard of the 3-day until I met Kate. And I don't know, it just seemed it's something that was she's into, and I guess being married to her, you know, and I'd come and watched her crew and actually helped a little bit that day. I was like, I decided I wanted to be a part of it.
Okay. Any thing that you would say is different, unique about being a husband and wife that are doing training and fundraising for the same event?
Fundraising is a little bit harder because we're asking the same people for money, or some of the same people anyway, for money. So we're trying to think of ways to be a little bit more creative this year and kind of branch out when we can.
I kind of rely on her to help me through the process of the fundraising and the training, because this is a different thing for me because I usually run races, and I was a cross-country runner when I was in high school. So walking, she's like, no, you can't run. You need to just, it's not a race, just walk slowly. So, but overall, it's been pretty good. I can rely on her a lot to tell me what goes on. She's done it so many times that she's like, you know, you need to do this, you know, fundraise this, send the emails out now, that kind of thing. So,
being a guy doing the walk, would you say you get more attention from people that you're fundraising from, or do you think it's pretty much the same? Or
well, all the people that I'll be fundraising has probably donated to her at some point. So I haven't asked anybody of my friends that don't know that or isn't interacting with my wife. One of the things, I don't know, I'm foreseeing when I get there, it's not so much attention, it's just dealing with emotions that I don't think that everybody else, you know, the survivors or people whose parents or somebody that knows died or has been affected by it. I'm not a very show my emotions kind of guy. So she's actually talked to me a couple times about whether or not I need to, you know, I may need to make a choice about doing it because I may be uncomfortable sometimes. But going to the closing ceremonies and going to and seeing our crew last year, I saw what, to a certain extent, how people are, and I think it'll be good. I don't know. I'll see.
You can handle closing ceremonies. I think it'll be okay.
Yeah.
I mean, closing ceremonies are pretty emotional.
It was pretty. Yeah, it was an amazing thing.
Okay, so now since you guys are a couple doing the walk, is there anything that you would say to maybe another couple that are thinking about doing the walk together? Any tips, any suggestions that they should consider when looking to do it?
I don't know. Ask us again when we're done walking.
From my point of view, it's a lot easier having her to help me through some of the thing, the fundraising and the letters and going on the website and getting the website up, my little personal page and stuff. So if the wife source, one of the two is already doing it, then that would make it would make the process easier. If it's both doing it at the same time, I'm assuming they know somebody who has done it, or they've been affected, or seen the walk or something. So they would get as much help from them as possible. But from my experience so far, it's just I've relied on her, and she's kind of guided me and helped me. And
one thing that I would say, I've been a training walk leader in the past, and I haven't done the training officially for it this year to set up the official training walks and those kinds of things. I was a little bit concerned about if I do decide to do the official training walks this year, is it going to be okay with you that I'm the boss, that I'm in charge?
Oh, I'm used to that.
Well, we talked about it though, and you were like, "Yeah, you know what you're doing. Just tell me where to go and when to stretch and those kinds of things." I rely on her on that because, like I said, I've never been on I've been on road marches when I was in the Army, but it's a totally different mind frame because I'm trying to get done as fast as I can. So I think like anything else with being in a couple and being in a marriage, it's communicate. Make sure my expectations for the training walk today match up with your expectations. So we're going to do 8 miles. No, we're going to do 10. No, we're going to do 12. Figure that out. Before you go, just like you do to some extent if you're walking with regular training buddies that you're not married to.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, that was the questions I had. Do you guys have anything that you want to add? Anything I haven't covered?
No, actually, that was pretty good.
Well,
I don't know. I haven't done it enough to know the questions to ask.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
No problem.
Sure, you're welcome.